Yeah, so here we are again, and for today, for this video, I want to show you how we can do simple functions, function prototypes. What are parameters, what are actual parameters, what are formal parameters. If we are to make it complex into subroutines, what are subroutines? So a function is something like a method. So it is a method, and we expect a method to do something. One of the methods that you might know already is this int main. This int main itself is a function, or it is a method. Why? What makes it a method? What makes a method is because of these things I want to show you here. What makes a method be one? Okay, and these are some of the things that make a method be what or be a method like or be a function. A function's role is to do something special. So what makes a function be a function, what makes a method be a method, is that this method has to do something. It has to do something special that it is defined to do. That method has a data type, and that method has a body. That method has a return type, which is also the data type up here, and that method as well has arguments. It has I don't know the spelling, but yeah, it has arguments. So arguments are the parameters, and we want to understand all of these concepts and what they actually mean. So basically, a function is a method, just like this int main. Inside this int main, we have variables. Okay, we have this variable arc, and we have this variable arc, which is of array type anyway, and it has a pointer I can see, and these variables have data types attached to them. So that is the structure that is going to be followed when we are making all other functions, all other methods. So you see, it is a function. Yes, it has the return type int, function name, then inside this parenthesis we give variables there, and its body has a return. This is the structure of functions. So this is, in most cases, it's useless, so you can have it also look like that, it's no problem. So I will declare a few variables here. Anyway, the other thing that you need to know is that a function is declared before the int main. This space here is where you declare your function. You can either declare a function as a prototype, or you can you can have it as a prototype or a complete function. Where you have a prototype, it means that you have a function declared here before the int main, but that function's definition is done after the return. Down here where you see this is where we do what? Is where we do the function implementation or definition. So I want us to have a simple function. So which simple function is intended to sum or to add two numbers. So like I told you, a function has a return type, and it can be any kind of data type depending on which function you're actually making. So I want to have my function called sum, and that function I wanted to add two integers. So inside its argument brackets or parentheses, I am going to declare two variables, int a and int b. So then it has a body. That's the function I have. Okay, so I have int sum. This is a return type, this is a variable, and these are the parameters. So after this, I want you guys to know what are parameters. What are parameters? Parameters are variables. Okay, so we have a subroutine called sum. Subroutine is called sum, and in that subroutine we have variables a and b. So sometimes I will be using the word subroutine or function or method, it is all the same thing. So we have a subroutine sum, it has a function, it has variables or parameters. These, no, there are two types of parameters. We have actual parameters and formal parameters. Formal what? Parameters. Those are the two types of parameters, actual and formal parameters. And for you to work well with functions, you must be knowing why are you actually applying these two types of parameters. So actual parameter is done inside the int main. You pass actual parameters inside the int main, and they are just variables. You know, don't get so overtaken by the word parameters. It's not so special. Anyway, it is special, yes, but yeah, there's nothing that is so much confusing about it. All you need to understand is parameters are actually variables. The normal variables you've been working with: a, int b, float a, float b, float x, character this. So it is the same thing. So basically, let me first declare our thing here. So this is the method I have declared anyway, and I have declared the method this, and I'm saying that it has two variables, int a and int b. So each variable you put inside each variable you put inside a method's parenthesis must have a return type too. Note that these return types are independent of the return type of the what? Of the method itself. The return type of the method is of integer type. Now these return types of the variables are also independent. They don't depend on this return type. They will never do so. So you can also have I want us to be more practical. You can have a return type of float in the method which is of integer type. No problem. But you can't have character. You also have to use common sense. You can't have character. Of course you may have it, but it will not make sense at definition here. So you can have float, you can have int, you can have short int, long int, short float, anything. So I want a method that is going to sum for me two integers. So after us understanding the structure of a method, or the structure of a subroutine, or the structure of a function, I want us to understand how this function is going to work. So I have my function called sum. It has two variables, two parameters. The parameters that are actually, or the parameters that are passed to a variable, the parameters that are declared, the parameters or the variables that are declared during the method definition are the ones we call the formal parameters. These ones are the formal parameters. These variables that are inside these brackets are the ones we call formal parameters. Int a and int b are formal parameters because they are the ones that we use at the definition of the method. So I want a method that is going to output for me that is going to sum for me two numbers. So that's what I'm going to have. Such a method should have a return. Okay, just like we have the int main here, and it is returning a 0. Why? Because the method is of int type, and we don't expect it to return any value because it is not defined and it has no parameters. It's man if we are actually getting this clearly. So basically, I want to show you how this method is going to work inside our int main. I want to show you how this method is going to work inside our int main. So we have that method here, but I want it to work down here inside our int main. That's what I'm going to be showing you next. So now that we have known how to declare a variable, we know a function, we know the parameter issue. So now what I want is to know, does this function actually, does it work? Does it? So we want to check for that. So I'll declare my variables here. I want a function that will sum for me two numbers, and these numbers, so I can declare here two variables, and assign to them I assign to them values of my choice. Like that. So, and what I want is to find out, does it work? So I will say here, the sum of 1 and 2 is, so that's what I want to find out. Does this method work? How does it work? We have defined it outside the int main. So how will it work inside the int main? That's the main question here, and that's what I want to show you guys. So we had our function. It was called sum. So what I do is simply to call that function inside the int main. The function is called sum. Yes, it is called sum. So what I do, I simply call that function, and it is here that I will do what? That I will pass my actual parameters. So I explained for you what formal parameters are. These at definition are the formal parameters. Now at function call, at method call, at subroutine call, the variables that you pass inside the function, these two variables which we have declared here inside our int main, those variables that you pass to, that's called parameter passing. The variables that you pass to a function inside your int main or inside the body of your code are the ones we call actual parameters. So I didn't put here 32 or 10. I didn't do that. What I put is simply these variable names. So if I put the variable names, what is going to happen in the background is the code is going to go and read for me, or it is going to go and read what is defined in the function sum. How many parameters does it have, and what is it returning? It is returning parameter 1 a plus parameter 2 b. So that's what is going to be done here. So if I call the method, this is calling the method. I call the method sum and pass to it actual parameters 2 and 1. It is going to go and read this return a plus b, and it will give you the output. So I want to show you that it actually makes sense. It is not so complex. It can never be complex. So I want to see, does it actually work? If it does work, so what? Add. That's the function I have, and I want to run it and see, does it work? It works. It actually works. Yes, it does work. So if you have really understood what I've explained, there's no way you can fail to understand how we are, because you can ask yourself, the sum of 1 and 2 is 42. We have a 32 plus a 10, and we didn't do it here. We didn't put here 1 plus 2. No, I only put 2 comma 1. But up here at my method definition is where I said a plus b. And if you understood what I told you, I passed this and they are read in the other format. Okay, you can even change this. You can do some method overload and you even have more than one parameter. So you can have a plus b plus c plus c. No problem. You can have another one. Things are interesting. You can have another one here, and to it you assign a 5. No one will ever touch you, my friend. I'm telling you. So here you can put a 3. You save that. So here, in this new thing here, I declared it is the same thing. The only thing I've changed is, at first I had 2 parameters, formal parameters, but I added 1. That's okay. I simply go to my return and say a plus b plus c. It is okay if I also don't include it. No problem. I cannot also include it here, but I've already put it because I want to show you that you can have different number of parameters. That's okay. And you have to make sure that you pass those parameters here. So I also told you that what we pass here are the actual parameters. Yeah, I also told you that. So I want us to run that and we see is it going to add for us? Yeah, it has to. We don't have a comma there, so we put a comma. And yeah, so it does, it adds 32 plus this, 42 plus 5, 47. So yeah, that's the code. Yeah, that's the code. You can have multiple things. You can maybe say you want a method that that multiplies two integers. You want a method that a method that can multiply two integers. So you will simply have so you will simply have something of this sort. So you can go ahead and you can go ahead and practice these things on your own and really see that actually they are simple and interesting. So we want to multiply, we wanted to multiply this and this, and this is actually our output. Yeah, I think if you multiply 10 and the 32, you get a 320. So basically, guys, that's it for functions. Nothing so much is difficult. Then the other one I can show you is what a prototype is. A function prototype is simply like I don't know. A function prototype is having your function declared but not defined before the int main. Okay, so that is a prototype. When we say when you hear of the word prototype, don't get confused. It means that they first declare the function like this before the int main, but they define that function, or they give that function what it is going to do after the return. Okay, so you see I've done it here down, so it's nothing still changes, nothing will change. So I will still go back and do what, and I run this program. Yeah, it will still give me the same output. So don't get confused when someone talks about what a function prototype is. When they say function prototype or write a prototype of this function, simply write this line of code. That's all. Or they can give you a full code like we had at first, and they tell you to write this as a prototype. So that's it basically. And yeah, it was I think you really get something.